Hi, this is Ms. Mizarako, and this is the 8th grade science information for Monday, October 19th and Tuesday, the 20th. In science today, this is our agenda. This will be for Monday, sharing of the long weekend, look at the week at a glance, review Tuesday of last week. Today we'll look at metals and nonmetals. Your homework and practice is assignment 7, and then we'll preview Tuesday's work. Here's a week at a glance. This is a page that is found on our Canvas, and I think it's a really nice, easy way to see what we're doing in science for the week. A review of last week, Tuesday, you were looking at metals and nonmetals. Knowing that physical properties of metals include things like shiny luster and good conductors of heat and electricity. Also knowing that they are malleable and ductile. Knowing that malleable means you could be pounded into a sheet, and ductile means metals can be pulled into a wire. Metals are useful in our everyday lives. Some things we use metals for include tools, transportation, and making coins. Some comprehension questions. What type of change occurs when rust happens? And that's a chemical change. Look at the periodic table. What is another metal that has similar properties to gold? And I picked silver, and they have similar properties because they're in the same group. This is a true statement. There are more metals than nonmetals found on the periodic table. Malleable refers to the ability to shape something. Identify a metal that is malleable. It can be pounded into a flat sheet is aluminum. Metals conduct heat and electricity. Why do you think it's necessary to use cooking mitts when handling pots on the stove? Because the handles and the outside of the pots will become hot. They transfer heat. Then this part looked at nonmetals. Some characteristics of nonmetals are they're dull, they're brittle, and they're poor conductors of heat and electricity. What happens when nonmetals react with other elements? They gain an electron and they form compounds. Then you looked at the different families of nonmetals, the carbon family, the nitrogen family, the oxygen family, the halogen family, noble gases, and then hydrogen. Properties of metalloids are the ones that are found along the staircase on the periodic table. They're like kind of metals. They have some properties of metals and some properties of nonmetals. They're solid, brittle, hard, and they conduct electricity under certain conditions. That makes them good for use in computers as a semiconductor. Comparing and contrasting nonmetals and metalloids and metals. Please pause the screen at this time if you need to complete your chart. Today in class on Monday, we will do the nonmetals and nonmetals lab. Here we will watch a video, and this will be linked on our YouTube channel if you want to watch the whole thing, of this little device. On each of the little holes at the end, we put a little bit of wax. We set it on the burner, and we notice which wax melts first. Our results were the copper wax melted first, followed by aluminum, brass, steel, and nickel. If you think about what was happening, the metal was getting heated in the center, and the heat was transferring or moving down the metal. And the density of the mobile free electrons is what makes something a better conductor of heat. Here, students will look at different objects and decide and observe them for their physical properties, their appearance, their color, if they think they're hard or soft, if they notice them being corroded, and then whether or not they're magnetic. There's only one that's magnetic. Then they have to sort them into what they think are metals and nonmetals. They'll also look at this, making sure they know the difference between something being malleable and something being ductile. And then they'll write a conclusion. They'll spend 13 minutes in breakout rooms. The correct answers are lead is a metal, chalk B was a nonmetal, pyrite was a metal, galena was a metal, E magnetite was a metal, that's the one that was magnetic. Sulfur is a nonmetal, a penny is a metal, and then hematite was a metal. The answer's there, and then a conclusion. Please stay tuned for part 2.